Hey guys, it's Hobo Yeti here, about to become homeless Yeti. Um, it's been a long month. I spent the last 4 weeks in Wilkesboro, North Carolina, um, just waiting for my knee to heal, and it still hasn't healed. Uh, I don't know if it's a ligament I feel like it's a bruised bone, but I don't know. If I walk without my backpack, I can walk, uh, 4, 5, 6 miles or something like that. If I'm walking with my backpack, the pain starts to become untenable, unbearable, really. Uh, and so I was in Wilkesboro for that time. I it was kind of like I stayed under the bridge initially, as per my last video, and then I moved my campsite to like a ditch that was, it was closer to some stores and stuff like that. Stayed there for about 2 weeks, and then got the rain came, and I got absolutely flooded. All my gear got wet. Um, my shoes got wet to such a point that when I was walking with them, uh, uh, I guess was it last week, my soles came completely off the shoes, which is horrible. Thankfully, I had someone send me a donation. Teresa, thank you. Um, and I was able to get new shoes. They're Walmart shoes, so they're not going to last too terribly long, but better than being soulless. And and then I was able to get some hot food, which was nice. I don't really get that treat, because the problem is, when you get food, you don't have anything. You know, you basically you get any money and you refill like I have my bag of pills, which is essentially antihistamine, caffeine, and aspirin and iron from my anemia, and so I'm able to, but like you run out of that stuff, you have to get it again. You have to get things like razors. You have to get stuff that's not renewable really, and so I had to fill up on that. But I was able to get that, and so that was very nice, um, to be able to do that. Um, but then when it rained like that, I had to move my campsite back to the bridge because there was like all this kind of flooding on the East Coast. I didn't realize it at the time. I should have paid more attention. And then I moved, and then I tried 2 times to head out of town. One time I got a mile up the road and the pain was just unbearable. So I headed back, um, and with the intent of cutting down my pack and making it, basically going through all my stuff and making sure that I didn't have any extra weight. I cut down a lot. I tried going out of town the second time, and I made it about a mile and a half. Same problem. And then my brother, who's actually passing through the area yesterday, going to see some family friends, and I haven't really made it very far. This Hobo road has been kind of a crappy, mileage wise. Uh, so it's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours for him to reach me from you know his home, and so pretty much where I started out, right? And he gave me a ride to Elizabethton, which is right next to um, Johnson City. I wanted to stay in Boone, which is about halfway there, Boone, North Carolina. But the problem is it's kind of an eclectic town. College town with a few stores and things like that, and it just seemed like I would stand out like a sore thumb, and I don't like that. And also bears, lots of bears in that area, and so I did not want to encounter that wildlife. Um, I was actually sitting in front of my tent like I do, with the flap open because it was hot, and this webbing or whatever, it doesn't actually it's see through, but it doesn't let any air. There's no airflow, right? And so I was sitting here underneath the bridge last week, and I was just sitting there, and out of my peripheral vision, I saw movement. I looked up, and I saw a raccoon, like not like 3 or 4 feet away, and it, I admit I might have done a manly scream, Um, but I looked up and I was like, oh, and then it looked up at the same time, and we both had that sort of surprise because I think I had poured out some juice near my tent, and it was going by smell or whatever, and under the bridge kind of dark. So anyway, I guess we scared the crap out of each other. Um, or surprised anyway, surprised. But yeah, I have no intention of ever really dealing with wildlife after the cougar incident of 2015. I have no interest in encountering any kind of wildlife that could eat me. Um, Actually, last night, this spot that I'm in now, I'm kind of in like a just on the side of the road, just north of Elizabethton a little bit, and man, it was a terrible spot. I heard all kinds of coyotes yipping and yowling. I don't really worry about coyotes for the most part, but it's something to be aware of, right? Um, but I'm here, and so now I can let my knee rest, sort of. The problem is that I did not realize about this area when seen from Google Maps is like all the foresty areas are kind of on hills, big hills, or mountains or whatever, Smoky Mountains. But also um, there's not too much. Like every piece of real estate is taken, and there's not really any place to camp. So I'm like out of town, about I don't know, half a mile out of town. Um, but like the place I'm at is it's not really a good spot, I don't think. And so um, I'm actually going to head out today. I'm not going to walk far. I still have my knee to worry about, but the spot I'm in is a good stealth camp spot, and it's like right near the road. But it's not a good permanent spot. Um, when you're walking, when you're traveling, it's easy to find spots because you're just looking for something for the night. But for a more permanent type thing, uh, it needs to meet some different conditions. And I plan on continuing this channel and doing some videos on how to find like a spot in town and what to look for and all that stuff. Um, and basically, what I'm going to be doing is getting back on my feet. And so there's a process to that I've. Elizabethton, I had my brother drop me off here as opposed to Johnson City because in Johnson City, from what I read online, there's a lot of homeless. And that's bad because it's good because they'll have more resources, but bad because you won't be able to find any camp spots, and they're already hard to find. But I'm going to head towards Johnson City, um, and then basically head north from Johnson City and see what I can find. Hope the thing is I want to be near a library. Um, because library means being able to charge without worrying about anything. I want to find a library or someplace to charge my stuff that has Wi-Fi, maybe, and then, but also a store nearby, but a good wooded area where I can set up camp and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm gonna head out today. It's supposed to rain later today. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it might. Um, because there's no places in this town without going like a mile or more outside of town to find a spot, you know, and and we're up in the mountains here where there's bears here as well, right? But there's everybody has dogs, right? So you got to be careful with camp spots because the dogs will rat you out. Um, but I'm excited. I'm probably gonna do 5 miles today. That's it. I've scoped a spot out 5.5 miles down the road. It's just past Walmart, and hopefully that'll be enough. That'll be good enough. But I know I can find a spot for the night, like a stealth spot, like sunset to sunrise. I'd prefer, but I've gotten used to finding really good spots, so I don't have to uh, I can sleep in a little bit. I have to wake up the crack of dawn. And 5 miles is not going to really put undue stress on my knee. I don't believe. I got some sports tape. If it gets bad, I'll wrap that around my knee, and hopefully that'll help. But um, yeah, I'm excited about finally being in the area that I need. And the reason I chose this area, by the way, instead of staying like going to like Winston-Salem or Charlotte or anything like that, is because there are like 4 cities. It's like archipelago of cities. You got Elizabethton, Johnson City, Oak Grove, or something like that. They got a couple of little tiny towns, and then there's Kingsport, and then there's Bristol. If I wanted to go to the top, which I won't, I don't think. But Kingston looks a little bit bigger, and so I'll start heading that direction. And if I come across a spot that I really enjoy, that I can make do with, then I'm gonna stop there, and then start the process of getting back on my feet. And it's not gonna be fun. It's not enjoyable. My knee still hurts. I have to be very careful about the kind of jobs that I take. I can't be on my feet all day, or even for any kind of serious amount of time. And then I don't know. We'll just see. Right now, I'm just looking for a place where I can set up and be comfortable with. Right. That's going to take about a week or two. Once I find the spot and get set up, then I can start setting up like, okay, this is where I'm going to charge my stuff. This is where I'm going to have Wi-Fi. This is where I'm going to buy stuff. The place I'm at right now is just outside of town, but it's like the problem is getting here. It's very visible. And so I don't like that. I want something I can just like slide into the side of the road and be fine. And also when you have a camp spot in a permanent location, you tend to take the same way each time for the most part. So you actually build a trail over the course of a couple of weeks. There will be like a game trail from me, or that. So you got to be careful about that. But anyway, I hope y'all's road is a good one. Hobo Yeti, homeless Yeti, signing off.